Heyo! Welcome back to Mars. It's been a few months since I've done any recordings, just life got in the way. So, last time we were doing the update on Mars. I built a starter base. I've added a few mods like Network Painter and Tubes, which helps you build circular walls, domes, and such. I don't really have a plan for today because it's been so long I can't remember where I was at. So we're just gonna play for an hour or so and see what we get up to. Looking at my base right now, we'll just do a quick overview. I've got a suit storage locker not hooked up to anything. I've got air conditioning working. It does not appear to be automated. I've got a fridge with some wheat and potatoes in it. I'm growing some wheat over here. I believe this is automated. Yep. You can tell because when I turn it off, it turns itself back on. We've got some food and water, a little bit of power, so we're going to need to maybe address that in the future. I've got my solar set up and some wind over there. Microwave and a reagent processor, I guess for making flour from my wheat to make cereal bars. I've got some emergency food and water over here, some seeds, and let's go outside and see what we've got out there. So I've got a standard furnace. Looks like I've got all of the updates on my printers. I have a tool printer. I'm gonna need some iron because I want to make some paint. Because what I want to do is paint my cables so that my networks are separated. So let's do some yellow. Get that going. I also want to make a transformer to separate my networks. We're a little low on gold and iron, so let's get some of that. Got 100 gold there. 50 iron there, so we'll put that in. I don't need 100 gold, so we'll split that in our splitter. So make one of those, and then I want to make green paint so I can differentiate my power input network. So what I want to do is I'm going to put my transformer here, I think, because I want to separate this network from this network. I have to be remembered that I have all of my IC chips over here, and they're on that network there. They're controlling. I didn't even name these, eh? Well, oh, solar housing. So that's controlling my solar. I assume that's controlling my grow light. We can figure that out by putting down this. Pop that open. Bring this chip into here. Import the data. Edit it. Yeah, so we're just doing our lights on that. Okay, so we can put that chip back. Probably, let's open our tool belt. We'll open our other belts as well. Button there. All right. So I'm gonna name that. If I have my labeler, which I don't, inside here. Ah, there it is. And I can name that grow light housing. So what I want to do is when I separate my networks, I want to make sure not to cut off my IC housings to what it is they're doing. So this one is controlling the solar panels, so that's fine. This one is controlling just this grow light. So if I'm going to use that as my data, I should probably separate it somewhere in there. So what I can do is I'm going to probably need another transformer. So let's make another transformer. Let's make some red paint. Just cuz. Oh, well, I guess I got a bunch of transformers now. That's okay, I can use them all. May not use them right away, but I'll use them eventually. Okay, and so let me put those away. So I've got the mod that allows me to have infinite paint and a network painter mod. So normally if I paint this cable, it'll paint just the one. But if I use my network painter mod, so if I, for example, I paint this one, oh, it just painted the whole thing. Okay, I didn't even have to hold shift. I guess if I hold shift, it'll paint just one. So what you can see now is it's turned all of these cables green up until the battery. And it shows me that I have an extra cable there that I don't need. So for example, I can cut that cable out, put that back, and now I know that that is all of my input cable from my hydro, so that I don't cross over it, say with this cable, which would create a problem in my circuit. And then I want to separate out, so this is my input, goes into the here, and then out of my battery and into my area power control and my charger. So I want to separate after that this section out here with this section in here. And I also want to separate where the data is coming in. Now I just have to consider data versus power. So this is a data cable, strictly set on here. It's not providing power to my solar panels. However, it is providing power to this light. And it's also providing power to these. I do have the older style housings where you have data on one side and power on the other. So if I think this through, I need to get power to here, separately from the data. The power is going to be underneath. If I run this data cable up and over here, I can get rid of this and I could put in a transformer here. So it's a good thing I printed off extra transformers. And run power to my chips. However, if I do that, it's going to get in the way of the other cable. So let me put this away. And I'm going to take the power off of this. I need to get power from my battery, which is the output cable is there, and then this is power. This would be power. That would also be data. Let me go inside. This is why I really need to plan this stuff out ahead of time, so that it's not a discombobulated mess. Oh, that's my sensor. So that's going to need data. This is going to need data, so I can separate these. Okay, so now I just need to get power from, say, here over to there. We just need to figure a way to do that because I don't want to cross my data cable. So I can paint this cable yellow. So now I know that that's data. I'm going to paint this one yellow because that's also going to be data. I need to connect this data cable to that cable. Okay, so there's all my data cable. So now I can like carve up my network so I don't get overloads without affecting my data. But I need to get power to my IC housings. And I've run the power there. I guess I could run it underneath. I've got a cable here, got a cable here. So what I want to do is tap into this power system and I could put an area power control to power the data. But I don't want to do that. So let's run it out this way. Now the problem is I don't want to cross these cables. So what I'll need to do is go underneath just to make it neat. Nope, that's not what we want to do. Again, this is why you should plan this stuff out ahead of time. Alright, so what I'll do is this cable over here. I'll need to pull up these frames. I didn't pull that one up yet. Difficult. There we go. Okay, then put this frame back down. Weld these guys back up. Where's my welder? And then, I'm not going to have enough cables for all this. Connect my data cable back. And I can run this over to power my housings. I have more cables. Hopefully I have power here. I do. Good. And I'll just get some cables printing. I'm gonna put a transformer there, I think, to separate those ones. Okay, that should be enough to start. And then I can... get my clippers because I want to join these two cables up. Okay, now my housings have power. You see the solar panels are moving into position. Battery's charging. My grow light is doing what it's supposed to do. I can put these cables away, grab my yellow paint. Okay, so now I have ugly power cables. I guess I could have ran that underneath. And then I have data cables. So now if I want to run any data cables, I can run them off of this cable for future data, and then they're separate. And then I just know what's what. So for example, if I want to now separate all of this stuff with a transformer, then I won't affect my data. So I've got this going to here, that's my fridge and oven, that's fine. That goes to there, this all goes here. That can all be on one network. So I can leave that on one network. So I can put all of that on one network and separate it from my airlock, which is kind of the whole reason that I'm doing this. So I take this cable out, I grab a transformer, I can put it in there, turn it up. So the small transformers go to a maximum of 5,000 watts because these cables can only hold 5,000 watts. Before they pop, I'm going to put it up to 4,600, maybe 47 in case there's a surge. Turn it on. Now we have power. And then what I can do is, if I get another color of paint, let's say I want to make my airlock cables white. I can always change it later. So now I can paint these cables white, and it paints just the airlock cables white. Yet I still have power to the rest. So now the red cable indicates, let's say, logistics, for example. And then this is going to be red cable for logistics because it's providing power to my grow light and power to my housings. So that's the beauty of Infinite Paint and the Network Painter mod. Just keep things a little cleaner. Here. That's a ore backpack. So I'm just going to put these paints in here for now. Later on, I can get a larger backpack to put all my paints in. And then I can put, that's all full. So perhaps I'll put some of that stuff inside. I could put another shelf here. Not shelf, locker. I need some iron for that. There's one. You need two for to get the big shelves. You need two lockers. Okay, there's two lockers. Let's put him there. And then I can put extra power cables, my transformers there. So I have stuff out of the way. I can kind of make this mining, so I can put all my paints over here. Okay, so that's good. All right, now we have to decide where we're at and what we want to do next. I just want to check to make sure my plants are okay because I did turn off my grow light briefly. They are still thriving. Great. Okay, so that's perfect. All right. Power. We only have 2. What is this? Oh. Device not found. So it's probably looking for this sensor over here. And I don't have the data hooked to that sensor. Greenhouse sensor. Easiest thing would be to put it over here. I need to hook it to the data anyway. So because I've messed around with my data, that's going to be a pain where it's going. I'm going to... Probably the easiest thing would be to give it its own sensor. So let me go make a sensor. Do I have a sensor? I do not. So let's go make a sensor. What I could do is just rename the sensor in the coding related to that item. So, sensor. Hopefully this plan will work. Maybe I'm missing something, but we'll see. And this is what happens when you don't plan ahead. Okay, so for example, the data cable is there. The power is going to have to come there. I'm going to have to run the data up to there. And then how am I going to get the power to there? Well, I can run the power perhaps around that way. All right, so let's put our sensor here. And I'm going to call it, I need my labeler, which is outside. Probably just keep that labeler on me. I also need a filter. Because I'm getting low on my iron. Don't need 100. That run through. Why did I come out here? Right, I need more cables. So what I'm going to have to do is run it around that way. Yeah, and I can probably cut that at that came out for my labeler. Forgot. So, I don't need the power past here. Anymore. Sensors make it difficult. No, I'll have to take the sensor down. Now I can. So what I can do is run my sensor cable up here. My power cable here. It's not gonna be pretty. Here. So now we've got power. We've got a sensor. Name it cooler sensor. And get my screwdriver. Change it to cooler sensor. And we're gold. Alright, so it found the cooler sensor, which is here. Now that's a data cable, so of course I left my yellow paint outside. We're getting low on power again. I believe I hooked up coal generator. Let me get some food. Water. Flour. Oh. Okay, let's make some flour. So if I turn this on, close the fridge, put that in there, turn it on. 50 grams of flour, which I believe is what I need for a cereal bar. Let's confirm before we waste it. 50 flour in a microwave. Okay, so I can pop open the microwave, put that in there, close the microwave, turn it on. It should make me a cereal bar. Nice. Okay, and I'll just set that over. I can put it in the fridge, I guess. Okay, so our wheat is still thriving. That's good, because we need more cereal bars. Now we're going to pop some coal. I think I have some coal sitting in there, and I'll just give myself a little extra power. I need to get my yellow paint. Charge up the power a bit. I want my yellow paint. And I paint this cable. There. And now that's a data cable. Oh yeah, it's done. It uses a lot of power. It is done. So turn it off. Okay, do we have coal? Let's see. No coal there. You have 26 coal there. Okay, so put that coal in there for now. Get a bit of charge going. I need to upgrade to an advanced furnace now. Okay, good. We're good there. I also need to obviously expand my power. Right now I have 3 panels. Probably the easy. Well, I've got. There's a giant hole in the ground. The easiest way is I'm gonna have to hook up more solar panels. Probably go this way. Then I can extend my power cables this way, data cables this way, without overlapping the other cables. So let's see. I need some more frames. Do I have frames? I have 2. Okay, start iron sheets. Or sorry, steel sheets. I have none. Iron sheets, but I don't have any iron frames. So theoretically, I would be able to buy that. Put frame there and there. Probably want a couple more frames. Do I have steel? I have some steel. Might as well make this nice and neat. Probably enough. Steel sheets, which I have none. So let's get some steel sheets going. I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nine and 10. Okay, so what I can do is grab me welder, just so I'm not tripping over these guys. Weld that up. And I'm gonna need some heavy cable. Alright, now there's a way to do this. If I split one, split one of these. What? it's putting it in there. So if I bring these three over the green, it turns them all green. Okay? So that's how you can easily change the color of your cable without having to use paint, but I have infinite paint, so it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is set this up to have solar panels. So in the middle of each square, if I put one of these three-way junctions, this one just needs to be a curve. Oh, does it? No, because I want to run. Well, I can probably just run the power across down there. So let's fix that, just to save cable. Later on, I can add to it if I want. Okay. And then I can run the cable between these fellas. Okay, so we're gonna need, look at that, it makes a nice wall, eh? Gonna need some more heavy cable. Oh, I have 6. Probably gonna need more anyway. Oh yeah, we've got enough. Okay, so let's print off some more heavy cable. Grab my green paint. And solar panels are also in here. It's good. Get about 20 cable. We'll see how far that gets us. We want solar panel dual. They're heavy. I do want heavy, but I don't have the stuff to make heavy right now. So I need gold, steel, and copper. Oops. 3 more. Do I have enough for solar panel? I need steel. I have no steel. I have a little steel there. No steel there. And I don't think I have any there. So I'm gonna have to go make some steel. So we can turn that off for now. What I will do is split this in half. Paint it green. And then go and hook it up. So what I want to do is I want to hook up this solar panel here. Oh, it's going to be a problem because it's the data cable. So we have to move that solar panel. Let's focus on this. So those are ready to have solar panels put down. I need this way. Piece of yellow cable. 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. I'm going to extend this cable out to connect up the data. Probably gonna have to go make more cable. So let's go make some standard cable. Oh, we got some copper in there. And then I'm gonna have to make steel. I'm gonna have to probably, unless I have iron, maybe I do. Let's get 15. Alright, make it 17. Connect this data up. Okay, now I'm gonna have to move this guy. I believe should be a crowbar and a drill. And I can put him down here. Maybe I'll just put it here. Flippers. Okay, there. So now he's gonna bring power in. I put the glass in. And that power goes down here and into the battery. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna put this over here. And over here, I can always change the color later, so I'm not too concerned about it. Steel. I have iron. Excellent. Okay, so I can take 3 iron. One coal. Ice. I have ice in. Okay, so what do we got? Oh, we've actually. Oh, it's very cold. Lots of pressure though. Perhaps I will. Put these guys in. Get my reagent made, and then I'll empty it out and then put in proper temperature because I do have a lot of pressure in there. So. It's just cold. So if I put ices in there, because I have 18.7 megapascals of pressure, it'll take quite a bit of ice to get that pressure, that temperature up. Because it's got to change 18 megapascals of gas. So it's probably easier if I just let this gas out and start from scratch. I really need to make an advanced furnace is what I need to do. But we're almost at an hour, so I've tried it. Last time I did it 2 hour, and I didn't get a lot of people watching. I think I only had 20 views. So I'm gonna go back to the hour format, And if you do end up watching it, please like and subscribe. And we'll see if you want more than an hour. Let me know. If an hour is just fine, let me know. If you have any hints, suggestions, or tips, let me know. And we'll see how that goes. So now we've got this down to 1 megapascal. I should just be able to pop the ice right in here and then hit the activate button. I don't know that you used to be able to do that, but I've seen people do that in other videos recently, and it seems to work. So let's see. I just need to get a little volatiles. It is nighttime, so that's good. So we can do 2-to-1 ratio. So let's do 4 volatiles and 2 oxide. And hit the old activate. Yep, it heats up and we've got steel. Okay, perfect. So I can put the steel in here. Solar panel. Kit. I need copper. Oh, I got lots of copper. Good. Might actually, because I am going to make 3 solar panels. And we'll make 3 of those. 2. Oh, Gillette. I did actually need. I don't need it to make the solar panels, but I'll need it for stuff in the future. And that should help with our power. So while we're waiting for those to print, what did we accomplish today? We separated our network so we don't overload the system. I can further separate it at any point with a transformer. So if I want to separate this outside from the inside, for example, I could put a transformer here or anywhere. We added new power to our housings and separated, so the data is only on there. We have a data cable going to our cooler. Do I need more iron? Yes, let's get some more iron. I think I had iron in here. Might as well use that temperature. We did use a bit of iron. Do we need anything else? No, we're okay for the other stuff. That's good. Okay, we have some advanced alloys. Okay, there's 2, so we'll just want 3. So we'll let that finish. We've got some more iron. I guess we can let that go. We don't need it. It's just going to cool off anyway, and I want to replace this probably next time with an advanced furnace. Alright, so 1, 2, and 3. Excellent. So now, oh, I need glass. We need to centralize my materials. See if we have glass inside. While we're in here, I can. No, we have no glass inside. But I do need to empty my waste tank. So I'll empty that in here. How are we for oxygen? Good.
Air tank critical.
But I do need to get an oxygen system going. Our air conditioning is not turned on, so we need to turn that on. Our plants are thriving towards seeding, so that's good. We've got food on the way. Oh, there we go. Almost put a solar panel on top of the water bottle. Okay, we've got a cereal bar in the fridge. Emergency potatoes. Okay, so let's go hook up our solar panels today. Oh, but we need to make glass. And of course, these solar panels get damaged in a storm, so we're gonna need to have duct tape, which I have lots of, ready to repair my solar panels. Glass. I need 3 sheets. Make sure I don't have any laying around that I didn't see. There we go. So we don't need to make glass. Always check. Okay, so we've got power there. Perfect. Perfect. Let me just add some glass. And we have doubled our solar input. Okay, good. All right, so solar inputs in. Improved solar, updated our electrical system. I don't like this cable, but I'll have to figure something out because I've got that cable running there. I could move it elsewhere. Inside, maybe. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Next time, what I want to do is upgrade this to a advanced furnace. I may at some point enclose this area inside here. Again, this is just the starter base. What I would like to do is once I have this kind of set, then I'm going to go build a bigger style base elsewhere. But I think that's pretty much good for today. Let me put my glass back so I know where it is. Future reference. Sun is coming up. Just check out our solar panel. There's the sun. There you go. 470, 480 watts. The way I have them positioned, they all catch the sun in the morning. They're not shading each other. They will shade each other as the sun moves across the sky. But see, we're getting an extra 5,000, extra 1,500 watts. So that will help with our power issue. We were a little low on power. But we're at, what, 3 yellow bars? So by the end of the day, we should have much better power. Okay, so let's go inside. Change our battery. Also, what I want to do is get this hooked up, because then I can just take off my helmet, take off my suit, put my backpack in there, and you can get rid of your waste gas. You can get rid of, you can update your propellant, which I can just use Mars atmosphere for that, really. And then you can fill your oxygen bottle. So put a connector down. I can use that maybe with a pump, and then I can start getting oxygen. How are we doing on our plants? They are still thriving towards seeding. So what I'll do with these next time is I'll pop the seeds out, replant them, and that'll give us 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 wheat, which should make 2 cereal bars with 5 wheat left over. We'll have food and water. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Just check the atmosphere in here, make sure we're good. Yep, we got some carbon dioxide, which is fine. They need 1%, I believe. We're good temperature, good pressure. I don't know if this turned off on its own. I think, yeah, it's idle. So it'll turn itself back on when it requires to, based on the code that we wrote. I don't remember, but I could probably look it up if I wanted to. Oh, you see, we're increasing in power. Excellent. All right, so let's park it there. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'll hopefully be a little more frequent with my updates. Have a good one.